Recording?
Nim is getting on it.
That's
Okay.
it's
All
backwards.
right. Then.
That's
But
okay.
okay, so Misty, when we first started, like when we met back in, I guess it was May, really it was January of last year that the three of us met. And so at that point in time, Misty, I know you were talking about as far as advocation for other parents and individuals who were going through, actually having like an anonymous line people could call. I don't know, or maybe
We've been talking about this for a while, but I think that we need to create some other things prior to getting that started. But we do want to have that, and we need to. This is something I'm starting to look at other message groups and see people who actually care, and individually reaching out to them and asking them if what role they want to play, if they want to play a role as a parent advocate. Okay. Because we need to start putting together a list of the roles that we need filled in the organizations that we're putting together, whether that's the Parent Advocate Network or Music Emotion or the 128 Sisters Relocation Project or whatever else, where we put together. It's just, I think we need to do this in a chronological order.
okay, well, I am willing to take on a role of mediator as far as the social media and messenger board at this point in time, because that's something that I have really been seeing that I'm going to be involved in. Like, I have a tendency to have people fall in my lap that need counseling.
Right.
And, so I see that that's going to be part of what I'm going to be responsible for.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to get a new phone because I don't like to have social media on my computer, which is kind of weird, but I don't. And because I don't have enough storage on my phone, but I should be able to go ahead and go get a new phone like soon, within the next week or two. Okay. And I can go ahead and be put down as mediator. I can start there.
Okay.
For the social media messenger message board. I'm willing to do that.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, ma'am. And this is all about the law of attraction here, because we are seeing what negative comments and negative adverts and all these things are doing to people, and how people are becoming more distressed and stressed and not able to cope with the issues that we're running into on a regular basis. We're going to keep running into them. It's not about what's happening to us. It's about how we respond to what's happening to us. And, I think that when we come from a place of love, we can attract that, but also attract people who need that love and help them learn to attract it. And so, I wanted to share with you what I worked on today for the laws of attraction, because this is about a lot of things, but this is, can you see it? Is it backwards?
I can see it. It's not backwards. How come mine's backwards and yours isn't backwards?
Yours isn't backwards looking at me.
Okay, it's just backwards when I look at it. Okay.
Yeah. So what it says there is laws of attraction: thoughts, intentions, creation. The law of one is the core: love, compassion, acceptance, respect, forgiveness, and understanding. And then we have actions and interaction down here. These are our thoughts, of health, wealth, happiness, harmony, and balance. And these are our intentions which become interactions of loving, caring, helping, healing, being honorable, and having integrity. Okay, so this is the core concept that we're here to promote in dealing with all of these areas of strife and distress, because that's where unity comes, with those principles and understandings. And so when we go into the groups, it's like the one group that I still have out there, the one message board that I have out there still, is the Parent Advocate Network and Support Group. And I have on that board today put rules that there's no porn, there's going to be no chain mail, stuff, no profanity. Respect is expected. Everybody's expected to be an adult, and I am not the mother. We are not mothers here.
Right.
We want everybody to work together and show respect.
Not of adult children, anyway. I was just having that conversation.
Oh, it's rampant, and it's I know it's nobody's fault. It comes out of a place of emotional distress, of not knowing how to be able to properly express ourselves, and going with that instinct, that gut reaction first. And this is something that is very hard to overcome, but I think people are capable of it. I, work on it myself. Sometimes I want to have that, and I almost go there, but I'm like, wait a minute. And we just need to check ourselves a lot more and help others understand that there are two ways of understanding. There's the education, and then there's recognition. When you recognize somebody else's feelings, you show them that understanding. When you go and get an education, you have a grammatical or literal understanding of things. You need both of those to have a wholesome understanding. And you have put...
This says recognize levels of extreme to softer lifers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is about everybody getting, and I'm guilty of it too, everybody getting emotionally charged over things that other people bring out. And what I hope we can do here is provide some center. And that's why I put up these laws of attraction, because this is what we want in our lives and what we want to express to others with the loving, caring, helping, healing, honoring, and being having integrity. Those are what our interactions should be, and what we want to share and show others. And I think that can turn this virus away, because it's a virus. I mean, it's a virus of anger and animosity and gut.
Well, the way I see things, it's more of it's either a symbiotic relationship, and this goes for physical, mental, spiritual, vibrational. There's a symbiotic and there's a parasitic relationship. And so something else that I've written up here is pain, body, energy, vamps. Okay, because a woman named Nicole Oman on Facebook, she did a little brief video once on pain bodies. This is when the incident in South Carolina occurred, and it was just all over the news and all over social media, and people were being triggered by that. And she was explaining how the pain body works and how each individual has a pain body that's outside of them. It's a vibrational, karmatic / this life deal. And so this is something else that I'm going to be studying more on. I know this is kind of, it's not really separate from the law of attraction, because people are so unaware of the different kinds of energies. Not everybody can tap into what energy is what, where it's coming from, why it's coming from there. And so this is something else as far as reading energies and being able to assist people to remove those energies from their homes and from themselves. This is something else that I'm brainstorming on that I'd like to start doing as well.
Okay, well, that sounds good. And then we look forward to learning more about your discoveries there, for sure. And you know, it's one of those things. It does have a lot to do with what we're thinking, and that's a main ingredient in the laws of attraction, is our thoughts. So you know, if we can recognize the thoughts of others and the actions of others without having the judgment and negative impulses in ourselves. Or like with the pain body model, we're talking about people who take on the pain and the anger and the frustration of others into their own bodies. And then that becomes how they then act towards others. And, you know, it's important that people learn to protect themselves from that negative energy. Because, I mean, you know, like you were saying, it's either a symbiotic or a parasitic relationship. So the parasite of anger and negativity starts to deteriorate the integrity of a person's morale. And you know, when they don't have any more morale, they start lashing out from that gut instinct level that comes with that pain, that anger, and that distress.
Well, and it like radiates. When I talk about a pain body, the way she put it was, it's like, okay, so you've got a person, and then here's your aura, and then here is what you call the pain body. And so when you get some people together who are upset about a situation, okay, then you have this other individual. Now, two separate individuals, okay, and so here's this person, their aura, and they've got their pain body, okay, and so they feed off of each other. It's the law of attraction, okay, right there. So they start to feed off of that energy off of one another, and it's like they cord. They wind up attaching to each other, and then this continues to shoot off that negative energy and continues to, oh, well, that makes me mad too, okay, so now here we are. So now we've got this entire negative vibrational force field almost that continues to suck in other individuals. They say that we are most like the 5 main people that we associate with. And so if I were to find myself in a room full of individuals and we've got a group over here talking about something and it triggers me, automatically, whether I involve myself with those individuals or not, I can hear something and it's going to take that pain body that I either have or haven't begun to work on. And if I haven't begun to work on those deep-rooted subconscious vibrational negative energies, then automatically it's going to attract me, not even to that conversation, just to those pain bodies.
Yeah.
And I'll take that with me to then my home, where the energy is going to continue to manifest itself because I would be unaware of the negative energy that sucked me in the first place. If that
And
makes
that's what's happening here, even on the social media right now. And so I understand why you needed to take that break, because I mean, you know, if you aren't ready for it, there are people all over who are angry and upset at everything. And
yeah.
we can be angry and upset, but you know, that only takes us so far. And then we're left with pain. We're left with the pain. And then that transfers to other people, and we become depressed, and other people become depressed too. And so what do we do to transform this feeling that is, you know, very prevalent in the parents and family rights movement right now, because there are a lot of parents in pain out there. I mean,
Well, a lot of it, a lot of it is still ancestral. It's within the records that people have not begun to be able to tap into, whether it be for whatever reason that may be. And so therefore that's like you said in the beginning, it's nobody's fault. You know, we were born during this time period, not during that time period. So all of this is just whatever issue, sect, denomination, creed, color, it's just been this total snowball effect. And so sometimes, for me anyway, it has taken another individual to point things out to me, and me getting really, really angry, and then having to go, well, wait a minute, I'm angry, A, because it's probably the truth, B, why am I angry? And so a lot of individuals are not going to be able to recover at this point, okay? And so acceptance is going to be, yes.
acceptance. Yep. One of the things we need to be able to do is to be able to accept that not everybody is ready to make the transition between that anger and pain body to one of healing and helping. It's I hope that we can share and be able to at least share the love. I mean, this is the month of love. Here we are in February. My son is born on February 13th, 2003, and yeah, I miss him a lot. I miss him all.
Yeah, this month for me, Valentine's Day, my father had a stroke a year ago, the day after not only Valentine's Day, but his birthday. Yeah. I'm looking, I don't know why I didn't put them over here. Maybe I did. I'm looking for my positive here they go. My positive affirmations that I've been doing. I didn't do them yesterday or today, but I'm going to do them now. And so this is something that I have put together for myself. Okay. And what I did was I went in a book. It's called Heal Your Body. And it talks about the metaphysical reasonings for different diseases to manifest. And so I went through and I started looking at possibilities of concerns that I may have for my future, things that I may be fearful of, things that may be going on with me now, so on and so forth. And so what I've done, and of course not everybody has that book, but that's a great book that I suggest, is the Heal Your Body book. I'll have to find out who the author is, but you can just type it into Google and find it. And so I'm just going to read a couple of pages of the positive affirmations that I've written for myself, and what has started to reprogram my mind to think positively, even though I may not believe what I'm saying. The more I speak positivity over myself in my life, the more I see the positivity manifest outside of myself, which is assisting me to continue in the positive affirmations. And so I am a center for love, harmony, and peace. Love and joy surround me and indwell me. I am safe and secure. Harmony and joy and beauty and safety now surround all the children. I am safe in the here and now. I see that clearly. I accept divine guidance and I am always safe. It is safe for me to create all the love I want. I nourish myself with spiritual food and I am satisfied and free. I am willing to forgive the past. It is safe for me to go beyond my parents' limitations. This is just one page. Like I said, I didn't last night and I haven't read the whole thing today, but I'll sit and I'll just read this until I start to actually feel something lift off of me as far as that's starting to manifest negatively within me. And it's taken me personally about 21 days to really start getting in the habit of working towards being more positive. And I feel that a lot of individuals are fearful that they have no time left, that they don't have time to recorrect, that they don't have time to live, that they don't have time to be successful, that time is running out. And I honestly believe that that is part of what's causing so much of the hysteria at this point.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that we're having such trouble in the White House and different governments around the world and the conflicts that seem to be constantly arising. It feels like an end of days situation for a lot of people. And, with that, we want to bring about positivity here, affirmations. Those affirmations are beautiful, Mim. You're doing a wonderful job. Thank you for sharing them. And I wanted to share an affirmation for us to talk about today, speaking of affirmations. So today I pull out an affirmation right here. Hold on. The affirmation game. All right. So and today's affirmation is interested.
Not bad.
I am very interested in what you have to say, Misty.
I was looking for the affirmations I wanted to share. I'm
Misty
sorry.
is interested in sharing affirmations.
All right.
Well, I wonder if this is, I can't even read it. It's so small. Well, okay. I can't find it, but it's gonna, oh, there. Maybe. Yes.
Well, while you're looking for that, I wanted to
Finally.
You found it?
I found it.
Yay!
Okay. The evidence of God is everywhere in my life. My unlimited potential meets every demand in new and expanded ways. Wholeness is the activity of my consciousness and the natural expression of my being. The creative genius of the universe expresses through me. I am an artist of the soul. This word is the law of my life, lived in God. Gratefully, I let it be, and so it is.
And so
Amen.
it is.
I love that.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
I have another thing on the back. This is from Agape, by the way. Agape International. Meditative thought. Each of us has been designed and birthed from Spirit's template of divine perfection. The key teaching here being that our true nature, implanted within us from Source, is perfectly divine. And while our human nature is noble and precious, it is also perfectly imperfect. Our challenge is that we have been taught to feel unacceptable to ourselves until we live up to our own or others' definitions of what it means to be humanly perfect. Or perhaps if we aren't manifesting the material things in our lives that we feel represent success, we are failures. Nothing is more untrue from a spiritual point of view. Michael Bernard Beckwith.
Beautiful. And it's true. That's something that is something that has stopped the law of attraction from working in my life many, many times, is feeling that I'm not seeing something manifest fast enough. And that is, again, a personal trauma that I've had to work through, is instant gratification, wanting what I want when I want it. I'm an only child, and I'm sure there's a lot of other individuals who are only children, and they, right, see, there you go. Miss, you're an only child too?
Yep.
Is she? Well, there you have it. Okay, so
well, no, Misty is. I don't think Misty is. No.
Okay.
I'm practically well, not really. I have a younger brother who's 9 years younger than me, and an older brother that's 12 years older than me. So and we weren't like in the same household. So it was mostly like I was an only child for most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Wanting what we want when we want it right now. I want it now. And patience has not been a virtue that has been, it's been challenging. It's been very, very challenging to learn patience and waiting for positivity to manifest, because when a hole has been dug as deep as some of the holes that I've dug myself in the past, it takes a really, really long time to be able to feel and act as if anything is going to be positive again. You know, a feeling of desperation, of hopelessness is a really, really scary place to be in, especially when you feel like there's nobody you can talk to, or there's nobody that understands. And you know, that's something that I want to put out there is, you know, we here at the Parent Advocate Network totally understand feeling alone and feeling that there's no way out. And, you know, it's just, there absolutely is, every single time. Doesn't matter how far down you go, until the day you die, you can climb back up.
Yeah, absolutely. And this goes for anybody out there, not just parents, but children and grandparents and just single people even, you know, it's all, there's always something you can find in your life that's positive when you start looking, even if it is that you have a roof over your head, you know, or even if it is that all you have is your dog and the clothes on your back, you are still alive. Not only that, but you can see the sun. And I know there are people in jail who can't. A lot of people, way too many people in jail right now.
There's a lot of nonviolent first-time offenders, I'm sure. I believe here in Louisiana, a bunch of nonviolent offenders have either they're waiting to be released or they've been released. You know, and when it comes to being incarcerated, I see things that have assisted me in the growth process, but at the same time, my view on that is a lot of it didn't and doesn't. And it really, really is a major stress focal point for a lot of individuals. I dated an individual at one point in time who beat me on a daily basis, who was extremely institutionalized. And what I wound up doing after 7 months of, you know, because I like to think that I can fix people. And of course, when I am at a point to where I'm broken or have been broken, I have absolutely no room to try to fix or assist anybody. But, you know, he was a very, and still, I don't know about now, but he was a very institutionalized individual. He did not feel comfortable being outside of a incarceration setting. And once that starts to set in, because it's not just with jail, you find that with individuals who go to rehabs and mental institutions, they still don't feel safe and don't feel normal unless they're in that setting. And, you know, of course, from what I've seen, the system could be much, much worse. But at the same time, yes, the lack of being able to go outside and breathe, you know, being in a cell for, you know, 24 to 48 to 72 hours at a time, let alone in a cell with two other individuals, you know, for 48 to 72 hours at a time, you know, it's not a good way to rehabilitate anybody. That's my opinion. I don't care what the offense is. I don't care what an individual did. Locking somebody in a cell for 24 to 72 hours and not allowing them airtime, you know, it's not healthy. It's very, very frustrating.
It's mentally not healthy.
No, it's not.
Mentally, but you know, we want to help lift people up here. We want to help them, and we're not here as like we're going to tell you what to do. This is not what we're here for. We're here to guide and offer assistance. We can't tell you what to do. Everybody has their own intentions and their own idea of what they're going to do. It's not my responsibility that you're going to go and talk,
do what you do.
you know, talk bad about somebody. Mm-hmm. I would just suggest that you don't do that because you will experience backlash.
Yep. And it's not even in my experience. I promise I was just having this conversation. I'll tell you the story. I went somewhere with somebody to take care of some business yesterday, and we were walking to our vehicle, and another individual was backing up to park, and she was really just ugly to the person I was with because they were walking and she was backing up, but well, you see me backing up, you know, and then I saw the energy just transfer, and then this person responded, and I said, okay, so here's how that works, you know. First off, that individual, if you don't respond to them, it's going to do two things. Either they're going to think you didn't hear them, and they're going to continue to fuel their own karmatic fire with, oh, you saw that, da-da-da-da-da, okay, and fuel their own bubble, or they're going to know that you didn't respond, and that's going to either upset them for whatever reason, or it's going to make them stop. But either way it goes, that energy that is put out in situations like that continues to make this residual effect that goes out, and then eventually that's going to bounce off something, and it's going to go directly back to the source of where it came from in the same, if not a more intense manner. And it's not just like that with negative energies, it's exactly like that with positive energies as well. Whatever we put out is what we're going to get back at some point in time. It may not be instantaneous, but it will come back. It will eventually bounce off of something and come right back. And so that's why it's so important that even our thoughts, which are energetic, you know, we all do the best we can to really work on what is going through our minds. That's where observation plays a huge, huge role in recovery and the whole recovery process, period, not just with the law of attraction, but being able to go, okay, I know my mind goes 90 to nothing. So then meditation, start observing thoughts. And then that way, when a thought that's going to have this negative residual comes across, instead of allowing it to continue to manifest within before it's put out, because it's already going out the moment it comes in, then we can start to really catch negativity and stop it before it has the opportunity to create any possible karmatic event towards an individual.
Yes, Nim, and I want to apologize because I was going to bring up something and it didn't come up right, but I wanted to share the law of one again with our audience here. This is what you were talking about, you know, everybody is affected. Okay, so the law of one, and this is what the SoL ministry is. This is our basis for operation. Okay, we're here to help. Our ministry is derived from the Greek word diakoneo, meaning to serve in accordance with the law of one. The law of one. We are all one, and when one is harmed, all are harmed. And when one is helped, all are helped. And when one is healed, all are healed. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all that is, I ask that only that which is in the highest good of all concerned happen. And I give thanks that this is done. So be it, and so it is.
And so it is.
And that is the law of attraction from in the core. That's the core of what I put here in this graph. You know, we're talking about the law of one love, the law of one understanding and compassion and consideration, and all of these things for everybody involved. Because I mean, we're all in this together, whether or not we're 2 doors away or 50 states, you know. And I wanted to share one other thing that I found in this book. It's the Miracle Manifestation Manual. Okay, this is about, again, laws of attraction. This is, in this, you're making statements of what you want to accomplish in any specific field that you consider a miracle. Accomplishments are miracles, because every day that I stand and walk, it's a miracle. I should not be able to do that. Okay, it's a miracle that we breathe every day, even though everything feels so crazy and messed up. In the facts of life, they say you always, always, always get to be right. That doesn't mean you are right. It means you get to be right. Okay? What you think about is what you bring about. What you fill your mind with, your life is full of. You always get more of whatever you sincerely appreciate. Whatever you focus upon always gets much bigger in your life. You can feel good right now by remembering something pleasant from the past. You can feel good right now by envisioning something you look forward to in the future. You automatically attract more of whatever you think about, talk about, observe, or imagine. The quickest way to get back into the flow of life is to find something, anything, to appreciate. Happy people are often healthier people. Make it your top priority to find ways to be happy. Always look where you are going, because you'll always go where you are looking. And you have a 95% chance of achieving your goals by simply writing them down. So, there's a lot of good wisdom out there to help with creating good, positive change, and this can carry on forever without people getting hurt. Because once we just focus on these positive, life-affirming ideals and look at everything in our life through a different lens of appreciation and gratitude, we have a chance of succeeding at anything we put our minds to. a great chance, not just a chance, a great chance.
Yep. It definitely increases it. And, something that one of my mentors has had to remind me of is self-care. Just, taking the moment to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go soak in the tub. You know what? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to sit up straight and I'm going to breathe. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to read a book. Just something, just little tiny steps, just, concept upon concept with yourself, in order to find little moments, just little moments. That's all that really matters, because everything is happening right now. Things that have already happened, it's already happened. It's not here, it's then. Things that are going to occur, this is why it's so important for all of us to really be able to just sit down and take even 10 seconds of focus to say, okay, I'm going to breathe or get in the tub or just something to bring about self-care techniques, and that really starts to make the process of attracting what we want much smoother of a process, because it starts internally. And so it's so important that we take care of ourselves.
We need to stop that monkey mind. There's this monkey mind that goes around in circles, and it's all of the stressors in our life that keep on being prevalent and present in our life. And the thing about that is that when you're stuck in that monkey mind rat race, you're not able to have a still point in yourself, a quiet place in your mind. And we all need to be able to create that. And all time is a good time to create a quiet time in your mind. Let me tell you,
That's why observation is such an important role when it comes to being able to create quiet space within ourselves, because when it's running around, when our minds are on that hamster wheel, there's just so much, for me personally in the past, there's just been so much that has occurred at one time, just spinning around. If I did not learn how to sit down and breathe and start to observe and piece apart all of that was spinning around, I would not have made as much progress within myself as I can say today that I've made within myself. It's very important.
Yeah, you've come a long way, even in the past few months. I mean, it's amazing, man. You're looking great. You got your affirmations there. We got to keep on doing affirmations, and that's a very important part of keeping that positive attitude, because there are going to always be stressors in our life. There are always going to be challenges. That's what life is. And it is up to us to take those challenges head on, but not in a combative way, I don't know what you would call it.
Really, my thing is, like, how would a comedian look at it? If I were a comedian, how would I view the situation? Which is not always easy for people to do, but when one becomes able to really sit back and go, okay, well, that was kind of funny, even though it may have been tragic, it was actually pretty funny, and for me personally, once I became able to really sit down and say, okay, well, I see that was really irking me, but now it's actually kind of funny, and it is funny. Being able to laugh at myself, being able to check myself,
right,
and laugh at that. There's a lot of power in that. It's very, very healing. It's very cleansing. And I feel it's part of self-care, is really being able to find humor, even in the most tragic events. There's always, in my belief, there's always room to find something humorous about it,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So, I mean, or at least some kind of aha moment. I think that in some instances, it's hard to find humor when children are taken from their parents for no reason. So
That's true.
I
You know,
mean,
that's
I just want to clarify that a little bit for people.
right. That's a completely separate entity from this discussion, of course. You know,
Yes.
that's it's devastating. It's devastating. Devastating.
Devastating, and so, but yeah, we do need to be looking for the happier moments, holding on to those happy moments.
Well, it's important for survivors to be available to assist others who are going through anything. You know, my belief is whatever I've gone through, no matter how devastating it has been, I've lived through it. Here I am, and I've managed to rise above that and continue to be within my sanity. And so it's so important that people understand it doesn't matter the tragedies, it doesn't matter what somebody has to say, it doesn't matter. It can still be healed. Whatever it is, it can be healed. You know, I have personally never had my children snatched from me. I have, however, had to make the decision myself that, okay, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, so I'm going to have to sign my custody over before they get lost in the state.
Right.
And, you know, having my mother say, well, that's the best decision you've ever made. But on the inside, I was like, no, that's really crappy. You know, I shouldn't have to be irresponsible and not have my children. You know, and there was a lot of guilt and a lot of shame that I had to work through just with that one incident. And so, but it's still possible. It's still possible to heal.
Yes,
It's
it is.
possible, whether children are wrongfully or safely removed from a home, it's totally possible to heal the situation and to get them back. You know, yeah, there's a lot of corruption, but
I found somebody who's willing and able. I don't know if you were you at the meeting on Saturday?
Was I? Yeah, I was.
And you, oh yeah, you were. Of course you were. That's right. I apologize. Yeah, we've got some ammo now. We've got some forms to start sharing and getting people to fill out for filing complaints against judges who are not following the rules and stuff.
This is, I remember speaking about this when we first started doing this also. This is why I feel it's going to be very important that there be some form of a screening process for people who are going to want to take on these entities and file paperwork and everything. There's got to be a screening process, but it's got to be an actual just screening process.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And the other thing that I'm coming into realization of is the need for parent advocates who are working with us to have some qualifications. Like, the easiest one that I can find is a free class you can take. It's usually a community-based class for victims of domestic violence, emergency care. So it's an emergency service that's usually available in like towns for victims of domestic violence. I know that there's some online courses as well. I haven't looked thoroughly into that, so that's something I need to look into. But I think that at the very least, parent advocates need to have that skill, because what it does is not only enables them to help parents in their area and women and victims of domestic violence in their area find the resources that are out there that do help them, but it also enables them to have the credibility and the tools needed to cope with a person in distress, and to be able to guide that person into a place of calm and hopefully quietness. And I think that if we can, you know, it's something I'm going to do some more research into, like I say, because I know there are some districts where domestic violence is considered a laughable offense, which is horrible. It's absolutely horrible, but it's the truth. And that's a scary situation in itself. But anyway, we're going to try to recover this and help parents. And I think another important thing that parent advocates should have is at least some understanding of family courts, some experience in the family court system, whether it was through a divorce or through a CPS investigation, whatever, something that has to do with families.
Right. Protective orders, any of that.
Right. Even if it's that they had a child who had to go to juvenile court, they were involved in helping that.
Right.
It's like I think that's a really important piece, because then they have that understanding of some of the court process. At least they know where their courts are, and that's important when you say you're a parent advocate.
Yep.
So, I think that's another bit of listing, but we need to, and I hope you can think of some ideas. I want to put together a list of what roles we need to have filled. We are looking for, right now, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for a website editor, a video editor, and group moderators and parent advocates that are willing to, go through the training. It's not going to cost anything, or just very small, depending on where you are. But, it's like, if you want to say that you're a parent advocate, you need to show at least a small amount of commitment to wanting to have the qualifications to be a parent advocate. And I've heard that there's some courses out there. Some people are advertising classes and stuff. But, I just feel like if there's money involved in that, it should only be going to domestic violence shelters. If you're going to pay for some kind of emergency domestic violence counseling package or certification, and they're asking for $20 or $40, that it's going to help support victims of domestic violence, period. And there shouldn't be any wiggle room. People shouldn't be making a profit off of this at all.
I agree with that.
I think that is ludicrous. We are in a society where everybody is capitalist. And this capitalist system is totally deteriorating humanity as a whole, because everybody wants a piece of the pie. When everybody wants a piece of the pie, then nobody gets a piece of the pie. Only a few do. So the attractions we want, in the law of attraction, we want to attract people who want to help, have a commitment to help, and are willing to take a few steps to make that commitment known. And it's not just like to me, it's to the parents that are asking for help. It's also for protection of those parent advocates, because anybody can say anything to anybody. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. And excuse my language, but I mean, that's the truth of the matter there. And so, if you don't have some kind of a certificate of experience of dealing with emotional trauma and being able to diffuse combative situations, then you can be sued. You can outright be sued for malpractice and misrepresentation of your qualifications.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, it's like, I see that, and I don't want people to be getting in trouble. I want to see people helping people.
Well, I don't understand how, because, okay, you've got you've got Alcoholics Anonymous, you've got Narcotics Anonymous, you've got all of these anonymous groups who are supporting one another, okay, and advocacy for whatever their main core issue is, that are not getting sued for their advocation, okay, and they're anonymous. But okay, so what if somebody doesn't want to be anonymous, or doesn't mind not being anonymous, and says, okay, I'm here to advocate,
And
I'm
that's
a
where
survivor of domestic violence, of sexual abuse, of sexual assault, of human trafficking. Okay, here I am to assist in advocation. Okay, well then what tells anybody that I'm not qualified, or that individual is not qualified? I'm not saying that I'm not qualified. I'm saying, what would then say or stop somebody from advocating who has been through those extreme situations and made it to see another day of living and be successful and be a parent and happy and okay? I do not believe that that is a sue-worthy situation. You know, maybe when it goes in upper levels of, you know, well, I'm a counselor. No, I'm not. I don't have a degree, you know. But as far as advocation is concerned, yeah, I definitely believe that people are going to, and this is something that I've already started to look into, but I will look further into, as far as here in the area, different places that offer these classes, because I'm going to get back on track. I haven't really seen any classes being offered, aside from saying, like, this person was arrested for domestic violence, so now they've got to go through domestic violence courses.
there should be victims assistance.
Don't quote me on that yet.
Huh?
Don't quote me
Right.
on that. But, you know, yes, victims assistance, yes, that as well. There's that here too, but I have not, I'm going to Google it when we get off here, but I have not actually seen any form of class to say, okay, well, here's how to diffuse a situation.
What they do actually, probably, this is what they do in my area. They have, there's a emergency service center here in the area for victims of domestic violence, and you can call the emergency number for assistance. Okay, this is 24/7 and requires volunteers to be available with their phone. That's all. You don't have to be in an office or anything like that. You just have to be available with your phone from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.
And what's it called?
Well, it's called Project Sanctuary in my area, and it's an emergency victim hotline. Okay.
Okay.
And so what they do is they put out an ad. The shelter puts out an ad. So it's a DV shelter. They put out an ad and they say, we are seeking volunteers to be on call in this emergency victim program. What they say then is, we will provide the training. It requires, and in the case where I'm at, it requires 6 hours every Saturday for 6 months. At the end of that, you get a certificate of completion, and a certificate of qualification as a victim counselor.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have to look into that. I'll Google that as soon as we get off this meeting and see what I can find.
And it doesn't have to be that long for people. I mean, for a course for somebody to get their certificate, but it's something that they're going to be able to use locally. And we have to be getting involved in these community service sectors, because as long as we consider them the enemy, they will remain on that side and we will remain on this side.
Mm-hmm. I was talking about that the other night, whenever the whole F the system thing came. No, that's the last thing we want. We want to be allied with one another, whether we're separate from the state or whatever, church, ministry, blah-de-da. Okay, everybody should be able to start to associate with one another and start to try to, my opinion, okay, start to try to find some kind of common ground, and there's part of it is I do not have the adequate transportation. It's not an excuse. It just is what it is at this point. As soon as I get the transportation that I need to be able to make the moves within the community that I'm wanting to make, man, it's like going to happen fast.
And you're attracting that vehicle right now,
Oh,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am. I already have it, you know.
That's
I
right.
already have that vehicle.
That's right.
It's time now. I've got that vehicle. It's coming. It's happening.
And we're not making light of this. This is a part of the laws of attraction, you know. You don't say you want something, because that creates a
gap.
state of wanting.
Mm-hmm.
We say we have. We're manifesting. We're creating. We're bringing it. You know,
Just like we will be successful in sustaining a advocate network for parents who are without understanding, without anything that we are not going to be able to, we can't physically provide, but yeah, so we will.
We are.
We are. We will. I am.
We are. I am that I am. Wayne Dyer, very amazing teacher. He died a few years ago, but he talked about the power of myth, and it's a book that he wrote, and then he also did a seminar on the power of myth. And he investigated all the different religions of the world and got to the core of those religions, and the core teachings are very much the same across the board.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the statement, I am that I am, comes from the Bible and is a statement of any being in existence. It was, you know, it came from God, and it's passed through every individual. And that I am statement can be used in both a negative and a positive way. And it is the matter in which we use this. It's a very strong statement. I am that I am. And to create a world of peace and harmony, I am that I am bringing that in myself, and that I am creating that within myself. And then sharing that with others. And you are you are, Mim, and sharing the greatness within you as well. So I think that we're getting more established in the presence of positive and peaceful action, and helping create an environment of caring and compassion. And you know, I want to thank you for all the energy and effort you put into this project, Mim, because I mean, it takes us working together to speak out and bring about this change of goodness and happiness and love and peace and community, and just all the wonderful things we want in the world for our children and our children's children, and for generations to come. And we can do it.
We can. Yes, we can.
Amen. You like my necklace? I just made this a couple of days ago.
You, that's pretty. Very nice.
Thank you. I've been working a lot with jewelry and trying to, you know, focus. I got a new desk that I don't have put together yet, but it's going to be awesome. And there's a display case. And I went to the art fair last Friday and had a good time there. I had my ceramics out, and I had my jewelry, and so yeah, I made a few sales. It was it was the hostess's birthday, so it was just a good time.
Awesome. Cool.
We need to look for those wonderful times and experiences and events in our everyday life. Even when things look like crap, there's always something good that can come, that we can do, that we can see, that we can share together. that will sustain us.
Right. Yep.
So I'm glad that you joined today, Mim, and I'm going to share this video when I've got it up online, and we'll have it available. I'll tag you and Misty, and we'll put it on the Sisters 128 page.
Okay. Alrighty.
And well, great talking to you, Mim. And Misty had to leave because her phone was dying. So we love you, Misty.
Love you, love everyone, and
Love you.
here we are. It's going well. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
If nobody has told you that they are proud of you today, Lyra, I am proud of you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm proud of you too, Mim. You've done a wonderful job. I'm so happy to see all the work you're doing, getting organized. We're getting it organized, getting it together.
Got to.
We want parents to join us here. You know, we talk about
They will. They're going to. You know, it's been a process, and my thing is this, you know, you can't get any realer than real life.
Yep.
So, you know, it's just a process, and everything happens within, even when it seems chaotic, there's still order and chaos. So everything happens the way it's supposed to, and it's happening. And we will have other individuals that will join in, and I'm very, very positive about the entirety of the coalition and the Parent Advocate Network.
Well, and you know, I want to hear more about music emotion, and we'll have to have a discussion again on that. And you know, these are projects from SoL Ministries. That's our belief and faith in each other, and in the fact that we are all one together here, and it's a unified force. So I'm glad you're part of that, Mim. And
thank you. I'm glad to be a part of it. All right, well, Lyra.
You have a good afternoon.
Namaste, dear.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.